Come, Doctor. It's time to regenerate.
I don't want to go. This can't be right. Does this look right to you?
Well, I don't think so.
No, not me.
Media.
Hello. Welcome to the Media channel. I'm your host, William Hugh. Now recently, media viewer Jamie Doyle, who is evidently a huge Doctor Who fan, messaged me and asked if I could come up with a Doctor Who regeneration effect. Well, not knowing what a Doctor Who regeneration effect looked like, I took to YouTube to find out. And I discovered that actually it was a little bit different every time it happened, but basically consisted of one Doctor Who changing into another Doctor Who via lots of lights and flashiness. So, after a bit of experimentation, I came up with a passable regeneration effect, the one you saw at the top of the show. And incidentally, that can be created with just one transition and one effect from Sony Vegas Pro. And because it is a Doctor Who regeneration effect and it's so quick and easy to do, I've decided to call it the quick and easy Doctor Who regeneration effect, which as titles go, pretty much nails it. And this is how you do it. First, film your clips. One featuring the first character and one featuring the character they are about to transform into. Filming against a dark background is a pretty good idea because it will show the light effects off to their best advantage. It's vital that you lock the camera off in a tripod because any camera movement at all between the takes will spoil the effect. And try and match the position and posture of the two characters as closely as you can for a nice smooth transition. Okay, now we have our clips, this is what we do with them. So the first thing to do is to drag your clips into Sony Vegas Pro, which I've already done. And here they are. Here is the before the regeneration clip, and here is the after regeneration clip. Now the quick and easy Doctor Who regeneration effect can be done with just two of Vegas Pro's standard effects. So let's start by applying one of those effects to the first clip. Click on the Event FX symbol here to open up the list of effects, like this. And the effect we're looking for is the light ray effect here. Double click on it, then OK, and the effect control box opens up like this. Make sure you have the clip selected, and then by fiddling around with the controls you can see how it affects the clip. The main controls we will use are going to be the strength and sensitivity, and the source positioner here, which alters the effect depending on where it is placed, and the noise slider, which adds a sort of sparkly graininess. We can also add some colour with this slider here. Now when we add the effects here, they will be added in a blanket fashion to the whole clip, which is not really what we want. We want to vary the effect as the clip progresses. To do this, click on the Animate button here. This opens a special timeline for the effect, on which we can add keyframes to control it. Make sure that the cursor sync button here is engaged. This will ensure that the position of the cursor on the main timeline reflects its position on the effects timeline, and vice versa. So at the beginning of the clip, we need to make sure that none of the sliders are adding any effects to it. Now we need to find the points at which we would like the effect to begin to show. This is probably the best place to start, so I'll click here to add a keyframe position. Now if you've never used this before, you may like to know that simply moving any of the sliders automatically creates a new keyframe point. But I don't want to move the sliders at all at this point, which is why I use the Add Keyframe button. So now I have two keyframes with no effects on them, and this will ensure that no effect creeps in between those 2 points. I'm now going to move the cursor up to the point where we need to see the effect beginning and add another point. And now I'll add some effects. I'll put the sensitivity flat out, strength up to about 0.68, and I'll drag the light source to the centre bottom, producing a nice flare out of rays. Next, add a little bit of noise and some yellow colour. None of the figures need to be exact here, just experiment and use your own judgment on how it looks. Okay, so I'll just place the cursor at the beginning and run it to see how it looks so far. And that's fine. By the time the actor gets to the screaming stage, when the transformation is imminent, I'd like the effect to have grown to maximum. So I'll add another key point here and boost the strength to maximum, and a bit more noise, and increase the yellow colour, which looks pretty good on the review screen. I'll just click on the previous keyframe and run it to see how the effect progresses. That looks pretty good to me. So that's the first clip done. And now we need to do exactly the same to the second clip, but the other way round. That is, we need the effect to decrease rather than increase. So select the second clip and click on the video event FX again, and select light rays. Once again we opened the Animate tab, and we need to set the very first keyframe for maximum effect. So, source to centre bottom, sensitivity max, strength max, some noise, and about halfway up the bar with the yellow. And I'll just compare the effect with the final effect on the first clip. Yeah, that looks a pretty good match, so I'll go with it. Now to run the clip to the points where the effect has faded, which should be about here. So I'll add a keyframe and reduce the effects. That should do. Now I'll just run the clip between those keyframes to check how it looks. Yeah, and that's fine. Now I'm just using the shuttle controls to find the points where the effect should disappear altogether. About there probably, I think. So add one final keyframe and reduce the effects to 0. Now I'll just run the clip between those 2 points to check. And that looks fine. So just check the whole clip. And the effect seems to be fading too quickly. So I'm going to add an extra keyframe between the first 2. And I'll bump up the strength at this point. Check it once again. That's much better. So now we have our 2 clips complete with effects. Now we just need to transition between the 2 to complete the whole effect. First, push the 2 clips together to create a crossfade. Now this can be any length you wish, but here it needs to be about 1.5 seconds. And if you run it, you will see a simple fade happen between the 2 clips. But we need something more dramatic than a fade. So, click on Transitions and choose the flash group. And then go for the yellow flash. To apply it to the fade, simply grab it and drop it onto the fade on the timeline. And we can leave all the settings at default. A quick check to make sure the transition works. Excellent! So the visual effect of the entire transformation is now complete. Just add some sound effects of your choice, render to video, and this is what you get. So there you go, the quick and easy Doctor Who regeneration effect in Sony Vegas Pro. Hope you like it. By the way, did you know that I've started a new channel? No? Oh, well, I have. It's called Deep 5 and it's about, well, all sorts of strange and weird stuff actually. If you'd like to check it out for yourself and find out what it's about, then here is the link. And if you're looking at this on YouTube, that link will be clickable. So if you've got a couple of minutes to spare, pop over and see what you think. I'd be very interested to know. So feel free to leave a comment. Well, that's all from me for this episode. So stay safe, and I'll be seeing you next time on the Media Channel.
Media.